Welcome to Suburban On Air, and I wish I was downtown right now because I'm talking to the CEO of one of my favorite venues and his relatively new sales and marketing director. Welcome, Dan Bensisson from Le Windsor. Welcome,
Hi.
Dan.
Hi.
And Laurie Robitaille, who is the sales and marketing manager for Le Windsor. Welcome, Laurie.
Hi, glad to be here today.
All right. Well, it's terrific to have you here because Le Windsor during this pandemic is embarking upon a really terrific program. But I think I want to start off with Dan. You've been there for 26 years. Business is always booming. I've been to the Windsor so many times for my society column for so many events. Such a beautiful venue. I bet you never dreamed of such a pandemic just shutting things down the way it has.
Well, that's saying it right. I tell you, it was a tough hit on early March when we heard about this coronavirus. Started thinking that when they were closing down, China. I was thinking, how is it possible that an economy even like China would be able to close down the way that it did? And when it hit us, it hit hard, and especially our industry. To give you an idea, I think we were somewhere around the lines of having the best year in 2020. And March 13th, as the days were going by, we realized that, governments were telling us to close our doors. We were realizing that there was not much that we could do at that point, and we saw trouble ahead.
What are we talking about in terms of the volume of cancellations that you've had to deal with the last few months and going forward?
So, I'm guessing that we were somewhere along the lines of like close to 200 events. We were running around those numbers, and to date, we are canceled all the way down to October, and it looks like about 155 to 160 events have been either deferred to other dates or have canceled.
So I guess it's just wait and see. You just don't know what's going to happen. So what are you doing now? Now if someone wants to come and see the venue, you are arranging for people to come for a future booking still, to come see you.
Right. So clearly at this point in time, we are closed. The question here is, you have bride and grooms who who still want to get married and, and still have that big dream. So what we've established is we've taken one of our ballrooms, which is a 5,000 square foot ballroom, and we've turned it into somewhat of a showroom so that a bride and a groom could come and visit. The building is closed. The way that it would operate is it would be on appointment only. And when they would show up, we would have one of our sales rep give them a tour to give them a feel of what it's like to be at the Windsor. And that's where we're at right now.
Interesting. So Laurie, tell us about this food assistance program. What is it all about, and how did it all unroll?
Yeah, of course. So obviously at the start of the COVID outbreak, there were many obstacles from like working at home and then, getting our Zoom meetings working. We started to brainstorm about how we wanted to maybe help back during this time because we have all this extra time. And then we noticed that some of our peers, vendors, people in our industry like event planners, florists, photographers were doing very innovative, creative ways of either having new revenue streams or helping out the community. So then we wanted to do something that had a cause that would have the most impact, given our capacity. So in our any event that we do, we would typically can serve up to 1,000 meals in one seating. So we felt that that was our best match, that we could give back by doing a food assistance program. And we also saw over the news that a lot of food banks were having a lot of problems as COVID began. They were afraid that maybe the residual effects of COVID, they would be left out. So we really felt that was our way of approaching it. So we went towards friends, family, and corporate clients for donations. Everyone was on board. We have our generous main contributors who are Desjardins, Bental Green, Green Oak, and as well as Dan and his wife's foundations. So from that, we were able to start the food program with one of our caterers, Bon Appetit, and they were also super excited about the idea. So we set up our space respecting all new social distancing and sanitation requirements set out by the government. We have our workstations 8 feet apart. We have our volunteers come in that are either from our industry or just friends, people who have time to come help out. And it's been very positive. A lot of people are super, super willing to come and help out. So we have them wear gloves, mask, even shoe covers when they come in, and then they just set out on their workstations, and then we assemble food. So that's what we've been doing, and then we distribute it to the parks. In the parks right now, they have temporary set out, like temporary tents where they do food programs. And so at the beginning, we decided to do Mission Old Brewery and Résilience Montréal just because they were close to us and they were asking for help. And then I think as only 2 days into the program, we were approached by a representative of the city who was like, "Oh, we love your initiative. Like, we've had such great feedback already. We'd love if you'd also help us out at 2 other parks." So we're also doing Sac à Dos and Accueil Bonneau at Parc Émilie Gamelin and on de la Commune. So far it's been very humbling experience. We're serving food that I think people were not expecting because they were really fed up of having sandwiches. And so we've come up with like new recipes and like something more nutritious. And yeah, it's been a very great way of giving back.
Dan, I'm sure you're very proud of this because when I go to the galas at your venue, it's obviously mostly charitable organizations. And I always hear someone at the end saying, "We really want to thank Dan Bensoussan," because we know it's more than a business for you. You really, you step up for these organizations and try to help them out on your own as well.
Yeah, it's like a little noise in the background. Guys, thanks. So, yes. So to answer to that question, it is more than a business. It's a passion. You know, the hardest hit, which I think I didn't mention before, is, you know, I wake up every morning at 6:30. I go to the office by 7:30 every single day, meet my staff. We have, you know, our meetings. We meet with clients, whether it's corporate, whether it's social, whether it's fundraisers. And I miss that. I miss that a lot, you know, and you know, it's nice to say that we've been on vacation for 3.5 months, but that's a long time. And I see the passion in my staff as I have these Zoom meetings. You know, fortunate for us, the government has given us the assistance of helping us to keep our staff during this time. And on a weekly basis, we meet on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we would have our Zoom meetings, and we would think out the box. Okay, so what is it that we can do during this period in time? And we do have ideas. It's just a matter of time before the government gives us these the chances to do, you know, the things that we want to do. We have theme nights that we'd like to do. We have conferences throughout both of our spaces that we'd like to do with social distancing, different ways of serving meals. We have all these concepts in place. It's just a matter of time. You know, I guess, you know, seeing that other countries and seeing that other cities, seeing that the United States of America is now opening up their I guess their entities for their businesses. I think that that will give us a little bit more, you know, a bigger chance to do the same. And once we get there, we'll be able to kind of play out this new normal that, you know, we're calling today.
As we record this right now, you're waiting for some volunteers. Maybe to wrap this up, you can give us a little tour of what the room looks like.
Sure. So basically, I'll take you through the front, so you can have an idea. So, as you know, this is our famous Windsor Ballrooms.
Love that chandelier. I love that chandelier.
Yeah. So basically, we get volunteers to come in, and you could see it from here. as they would come to, as soon as they come, we wrap them up.
Put your screen
You just need to tilt your camera. There you go. Perfect. Now we see it. Good. That's live. That's live TV, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So they come in. We have them set up in the center. The food has been already prepped, but hasn't been seasoned. They come in. They season all the food. And then what we do is we split up all the groups into groups of 2, and they start going to stations. And at the stations, what they will do is they will box the food. One person will be putting the food in the boxes. The second person will be closing the boxes, and the third person will be labeling the boxes. Once that's all done, we invite everybody for a nice picture, and we, at 11 o'clock, start doing our deliveries and shift people off to the parks to see exactly who and where this food is going. So it gives them a feeling of being involved, and it actually is an amazing experience. I'm very happy that we've taken the initiative to do this, because it really fulfills all those gaps of being home and feeling useless. This really is a special time.
Absolutely. Lori, a final note. How can people volunteer if they want to help out?
Yeah, of course, if they want to volunteer, they could always email us at info@lawindsor.com, or they can look at us on the social medias. On Instagram, we are Windsor Ballrooms, and then they can just message us through there, or even call us at 514-393-3588. And yeah, we welcome everyone, and it's just a fun time.
All right. Well, wonderful. Thank you both for joining us. Good luck and stay healthy.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Bye-bye.